Namaste, good morning, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. So let's come on to our mats. Have what you need for your practice today. I would really invite you to have a blanket or some blocks or a couple of small cushions at hand. We're going to do Matsyasana, supported fish pose. And I'm going to invite you to place either blocks, a rolled up blanket or a cushion under the middle of your back. So having those available will be really helpful to you. So Danny, could you pass me my blanket, please? So that I have that ready too. Oh, I've got to get myself ready. Just put it there. Thank you. I'll sort it out. So I often have these big sort of heavy blankets because they fold up really nicely. And they're sort of nice and secure. So if you have your blanket, fold it in half, quarter, and then when it's about that long width, then we can just roll that up into a bit of a sausage shape, and then we'll be able to use that like that on our mat when it's time for us to do Matsyasana, and that will provide us with some firm support. Alternatively, you can use 2 smaller cushions or a large pillow. Our practice today, so it's been a very difficult week for the US and in the UK. Many of you might know that a lot of my work is around supporting my local community with COVID-19 response. And it's been a really difficult week in terms of the number of deaths in the community. So it's been a really emotionally difficult time watching the news, wherever we are, in the Western world, which is where most of you are from, it's been tough in most places. So I was thinking about what practice I wanted to do today, what it is that I feel like I need, and also what my community may need. And so I thought I'd focus today on immune boosting, just building up our immunity. Now, just a note of precaution, especially around some of the things that yoga and wellness practitioners claim. They often claim great scientific and medicinal benefits for a practice, and often use wellness and yoga as substitutes for science and for medicine. I am a strong advocate of seeking medical help, of getting vaccinated, because I know of the consequences when people choose not to take up the benefits of modern science. They are there to help not only us as individuals, but in terms of vaccination, it supports our community because we build up herd immunity. A lot of my work is with children. We've seen the increase in measles after the MMR false scientific claims, and what that has done for the increase in measles amongst children, and that leads to death for children. So again, I know there's a lot of concern that people have around the COVID-19 vaccine. And I have elderly parents, 80. In fact, my mum today is getting her vaccine. And she was very skeptical because, again, she's heard rumors and conspiracy theories about vaccines. And I've urged her to get it. And so this morning she's going to the doctors to get her vaccine. It's really important we protect ourselves and our community. Yoga that I'm offering you today is to supplement, it's to complement, to enhance and provide us with holistic support, not to exclude anything else or to replace anything else. So that's my very clear note to you. And I'm from Indian heritage, and we live Ayurvedic lifestyles. And you don't preclude science, because it's in this in the West, particularly, it's very well tested. Scientists are some of the most trustworthy people. We trust them far more than politicians. They work in labs. Big pharma, yeah. There's issues with big pharma, but they wouldn't sell drugs necessarily if they didn't help. So there are some drugs that are unhelpful, usually over-the-counter stuff. But if it's something that your doctor prescribes, usually for our benefit and our help. So our immune boosting, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Immune boosting practice for building resilience. We're going to focus on our pranayama, our breath today. Our mudra that we're going to use today is Prana and Apana mudra. Prana is life force giving gesture. It's the energy that flows through us, that inspires, that builds, that we take in, Prana. And then Apana is the energy that helps us to release and let go and detoxify, eliminate what we don't need, both on a spiritual and energetic level. The Prana mudra is with the right hand, the Apana mudra is with the left hand. So just to practice before we start, for the Prana, fold in your ring and little finger, bring to touch with the thumb. Extend your peace fingers. Your peace fingers are your index and middle finger. So this is Prana mudra. This is what it will look like with your right hand. Your Apana mudra, the one for letting go, releasing, fold in your middle and ring finger and bring touch to your thumb and extend your index and little finger. So you'll have two different mudras. The right hand for Prana, through the right side of our body, it is said that it's our dynamic energy, the active energy, and on the left side of our body it's our receiving and sort of more passive, more letting go sort of energy. It's a different form of energy, the sort of yin, and so we use the Apana mudra on the left side. Palms face up on your knees or face down, whatever feels comfortable for you. I like to have my right palm facing up and my left palm facing down for really intaking and letting go. Closing your eyes. Lengthening through your spine, feeling grounded with your sit bones. Feeling lifted at the crown. Eyes are softly closed or gazing down and or in. Let's take some deep breaths here. Starting with Dirga Pranayama, 3-part yogic breath. So observe the natural rhythm. And by beginning to observe the natural rhythm of our breath, we can tune into where we are at the moment. What state or condition have we come to the mat in? Yoga is about affecting change within ourselves. We arrive on the mat feeling one way, and we leave the mat feeling another. Sometimes we arrive on the mat with difficult emotions. Our health may feel depressed. We may not have a sense of well-being. And by being on the mat, moving with our breath, we seek to shift the energy and boost ourselves. Perhaps sometimes we arrive on the mat in a very hypervigilant state, and we want to shift the energy so that we become calmer. breath will let you know how you're feeling. And now I invite you to begin to deepen and lengthen your breath. It may already naturally have shifted. As you inhale, draw the breath right down into the belly. Allow your belly to expand. And then your ribs open, chest rises. So this is the 3-part breath: belly, ribs, chest. In order to feel the sensation, you might bring your hands to your belly and chest. If you cannot feel that gentle movement. To exhale, draw the navel, the belly button back towards the spine. Belly contracts in, ribs curl in, chest falls. Virga pranayama. Inhaling, belly expands, ribs open, chest rises. Exhaling, navel to the spine, chest curls, ribs curl in, chest falls. These may be very imperceptible, very small movements. They may be more noticeable. Inhaling, a state of expansion, prana energy arriving in our body to boost our health and sense of well-being. On the exhale, contracting, releasing the breath, letting go of toxins, whether it's a toxic state of mind, toxic thoughts. Perhaps it's a sense of feeling unsettled, out of sorts in the body. We're letting that sensation go with the out breath. Continue like this for 7 more breaths. 3-part breath, breathing slowly, deeply. It may feel like a challenge for those of us, especially those who are suffering long COVID symptoms. We're in winter. We may be asthmatic, congested with a cold. So these long, deep breaths may feel different to your usual breath. As you breathe, find complete balance within yourself. Energize, revitalize the parts of yourself, whether physical or on an energetic, subtle body level, with the breath that you draw in. Flush out, release, let go of those aspects that cause you pain, suffering, discomfort. Shifting our body systems into a state of balance today so that we can boost our immunity, our cellular health, our energetic body health. Our mantra for today is Om Ram Ramaya. Om Ram Ramaya. I invite the infinite energy of the universe to rejuvenate, to revitalize all aspects of the self. Om Ram Ramaya. When you've got to your last count of Dirga Pranayam, Release the breath and return to your natural rhythm. Bringing your hands together at your heart center in Namaskar. Opening by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale fully. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Hands to your eyebrow center in Namaskar. Namaste and welcome, yogis. Thank you very much for joining me today. So we've spent some time breathing deeply to support and nourish our energy, Prana, this vital life force. And once we vitalize that source of energy, it will feed our immune system. Let's place our fingertips on the earth and then walk your hands round as far as they will go comfortably. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open the heart. Begin to lift your gaze towards the point where the wall meets the ceiling. So not too up, we're not looking up at the ceiling, we're just looking at the sort of diagonal angle. Hold here. Take a moment. Leaving the right fingertips where they are on the earth. Let's reach up and over with the left arm. Reaching through the fingertips. Let's stay here for 3 deep breaths. You can bring your hand into your apana mudra, letting go. That's the middle and ring finger to the thumb. Inhale through center. And so take that left hand slightly behind you and then reach up and over with your right. And again, you can bring your hand into Prana mudra, receiving. Ring and little finger to the thumb, peace fingers extended. One full breath here. So again, 3 breaths on each side. Inhale back to center. Hands behind you slightly, wherever you are. Again, lift your gaze up towards the place, the meeting place of the ceiling and the wall. In my mind's eye, I often visualize that as the meeting place between earth and heaven, between earth and the sky. The grounding energy of the earth, the supportive energy of the earth, with the infinite potential that's represented by the limitless sky. Release your shoulders. Let's bring our hands together in front of us. Interlace all your fingers. Extend your peace fingers. Cross your thumbs. Slightly round through your back. So if I turn around, you'll see. Slightly rounding through your shoulders. So really pushing through there. And then inhaling, lift your arms above your crown. And now this time we're going to look up at the ceiling, up at the sky. Keep grounding down through your sit bones, grounding down through your knees. You will feel the temptation to lift your knees here. So these oppositional forces here, we're grounding through the lower body and lifting through the upper body. Prana and apana. So prana is this upward lifting energy. Apana is this downward grounding and releasing energy. One more breath here. Now, release your fingers, open your arms out into a V shape. And again, bring your hands into your mudra. Right hand into prana, left hand into a palm. So one breath here. Slightly move your shoulders closer together, shoulder blades closer together. Exhale, bring your elbows in towards your sides, arms, hands still reaching out. Draw your shoulder blades together so that you feel expansion here in the front. Open out your arms into a T shape. Drawing your shoulder blades together. Exhale, bring your elbows in, and this time let's create a sort of L shape. Again, drawing your shoulder blades together. Bringing your hands to the tops of your shoulders. Let's curl, create circles with our elbows 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other direction. So we're working on nourishing and strengthening and building our immunity system today. So yoga is a natural immunity booster. I often feel 100% better when I come off my mat. And the effects don't last all day long. They don't last all week long after your practice. The aim is to have a regular practice. Yoga isn't necessarily the solution to all of our ills and worries and anxieties, but it can help to reduce and manage them. We're going to come directly forward into child's pose. So come rolling onto your knees. Take your knees as wide as your mat, big toes to touch. Sit back with your sit bones and reach forward with your hands, eyebrow center directly onto the earth or onto a cushion. Reach forward with your arms. And today, what I invite you to play around with is, what does it feel like when you take your hands as wide as the mat? So knees and hands as wide as the mat. One more breath here. Deep breathing. Now, if you have, often what happens as a sign of immunity, when you are in a heightened state of stress, then your immune system becomes more vulnerable, because a heightened state of stress means that your heart rate is often faster. You may be experiencing sleeplessness, headaches, tension headaches, aches and pains, often in our back somewhere or in our joints. So yoga on a physical level helps to release that tension. It helps to slow down the heart rate. One more breath here. Slide your hands back together. Come onto your knees, moving directly into table Padmanasana. Cat-cow for 3 rounds. Madhyasana cycle, curling in. And move with your breath. Your prana and apana. Prana, the in breath. Apana, the out breath. When we give quality to our breath and we understand that our breath is a source of energy, whether we're inhaling or exhaling, the breath has the power to transform and shift our energy. By building our immunity, we can resist pathogens, we can resist sort of the viruses that regularly circulate. We can't resist COVID-19 apart from the measures that we can take. What we can do is strengthen our immune system through our diet, our lifestyle, our meditative practice. When you've come to your final cat-cow, come to neutral spine. Again, let's bring the big toes together, knees as wide as the mat. And let's take cat-cow here. Try and take your hands as wide as the mat and see how cat-cow feels with this variation. This I find very supportive for my upper back in particular. And then when you finish 3 rounds here, left hand to the middle. Inhale, reach up with your right hand, coming into Prana mudra here. Ram Ramaya. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left and bring your right shoulder and ear to the mat. This left hand can stay where it is, or you can take it and wrap it round the right hip. So I can bind my hand all the way through so it's resting on my right side. So I will have my hand wrapped all the way round, but reach wherever you can, crossing over so the left shoulder is really open here. Three breaths here. Thinking about what it is that you want to shift in your health, your lifestyle, your thinking, your emotions. Let going of things that no longer serve you or have never served you. One more breath here. Inhale, release that left hand. Take the right fingertips back up towards the sky in your Prana mudra. Exhale, right hand to the earth. Inhale, left hand up to the sky. And again, you can bring the ring and middle finger to touch the thumb. Reaching up. And then exhale, thread the left arm underneath. Again, bring the left shoulder and ear to the mat. Right hand can stay on the earth, or you can wrap it around your lower back towards your right hip. By practicing yoga, we can reduce stress. We can reduce inflammation in our joints, our gut system. Because by reducing the stress hormones, we take those out of the equation. Remember, if we have things like arthritis, we still need to take our medication. Yoga is not the cure-all. It is never the cure-all. It is a part of a balanced lifestyle. It helps to create a sense of well-being, and it helps to optimize our well-being. One more breath here. Release your right hand to the earth. Inhale and lift your left fingertips up to the sky. And then bring your hands back down to the earth. Take a moment here. And then come onto your forearms. So in a variation of melting heart. If you wish, you can come directly to your eyebrow center. So you'll either be on your forearms with your heart and eyebrow center lifted away from the earth a little, or you might be closer to the earth. So you'll notice that we're stretching quite a lot, especially through the arms. This is to activate the lymph nodes so that we can begin to activate our lymphatic system. From here, we're going to move into Bhujangasana. So whichever variation you are in, slide your knees away, bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift your crown, open your heart, tuck in your elbows. Bhujangasana Cobra. Here we're working at the kidneys and the abdomen, so around abdominal health. One more breath here, lower to the earth. Reach out with your arms long in front of you. Bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, extend your index fingers, cross your thumbs, and feel as if you are an arrow lying here on the earth, pressing into your big toes, pointing through your big toes, pointing through your index fingers. You're active and engaged here on the earth. Om Ram Ramaya. I invite in the energy of the universe to rejuvenate and revitalize all aspects of the self. One more breath here. Bend into your elbows. Bring your Kali mudra to the back of your head here. Bend into your knees and lift your toes. Keeping your knees bent here, toes lifted towards the sky. Release your index and reach back with your hands towards your feet. Now, you may be able to take hold of your ankles. You may be reaching back. Going to move into Dhanurasana, bow pose. So if your hands do not connect with your feet, you could always use a belt and loop that around your ankles and hold onto your belt. Dressing gown belt will do, or a dog lead or a tie. Inhale, lift your knees, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Coming into your variation of bow pose, Dhanurasana. Remember, you may have your knees on the earth and your hands reaching back, but your heart and gaze can be lifted here too. Ardha Dhanurasana. And all of us will look very different here. My back is not great in terms of its health. So I will only go as far as feels comfortable for my lower back in particular. Let's release our hands. Bring our feet back down to the earth. Take our arms alongside our body, palms face up. And turn onto your right ear. Turn onto your right ear. And here we're going to take a Brahmari breath. Brahmari breath is the honeybee breath. A buzzing bee breath through gently closed lips and slightly parted teeth. Brahmari breath is very soothing, and the vibrational energy helps to provide a sense of stimulation to our glands in particular. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose, making a buzzing sound with your lips. Inhale, turn your left ear onto the mat. And let's take a Brahmari breath on this side. Inhale through your nose, exhale, making a humming sound through gently parted teeth with your lips vibrating. Inhale, turn your head back to center. Reach out with your arms ahead of you. So take the arms wide, palms face down. You can bring your hands into your mudra, Prana on the right, apana on the left. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Inhale, lift your arms, Lift your legs. So this might feel quite challenging and it may not be very high. I'm cheating and resting on my dog bed. And exhale, release to the earth. Bring your hands back under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Inhale through table into mountain Parvatasana. Oh, sway your hips here. Pedal through your feet. And then come into stillness. Let's take your hands and feet wide as your mat, actually. That feels great. So you can see, the wider we take our hands and feet, the more stabilized we feel. The earth is supporting us much more. And the more stable we feel, the more our body enters the rest and digest mode, the rest and reset mode, by shifting and calming the nervous system so that we come into the parasympathetic system. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat to come into a forward fold here. Feet can be parallel or big toes touching and ankles slightly apart. Wrap your hands round behind your lower legs. And I always like to give myself a little massage here while I do this. So from the buttocks all the way down. Always helping the lymphatic system to drain away. Forward fold here. Deep breaths. Let's take a Brahmari breath here. Honeybee breath. That buzzing, humming sound. Inhale through your nose. Oh, I can hear my digestive system responding. There you go, already helping me. One more breath. Inhale, begin to release your hands, uncurl your spine. To rise up to Tadasana, standing mountain. Now here in standing mountain, I'll turn around so you can see me. Let's reach overhead. Interlace your fingers, extend your peace fingers, cross your thumbs. Let's cross the thumbs the other way now, so it feels a bit odd. Reach up overhead. So standing tall like a vessel or an arrow. Perhaps you lift your gaze. So begin to lift your gaze up towards the sky. Maybe you're coming into a gentle back bend here. See how the breath feels here. So during the winter, or when, especially when we have colds, flu, COVID, long COVID symptoms, we may feel that our breath is really challenged. So notice how the breath feels here for you. And visualize deepening and lengthening your breath down into your belly. One more breath here. Release your hands. Open your arms out into a V shape. Bring your hands into your Prana and apana mudra. So right hand in Prana, ring and little finger touching the thumb, peace fingers extended. Left hand in apana, middle and ring finger touching thumb, index and little finger extended. So big toes can be touching here. Your legs can be parallel. Your feet can be parallel. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Slightly draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, tuck in your elbows. Again, draw your shoulder blades together so you're open across the heart. Open out your arms into a T shape. As we build muscle strength through practice of yoga and mobility, this will contribute to a sense of physical well-being. We're also releasing endorphins, the feel-good hormones that will help to overcome any stress hormones we have. Tuck your elbows in, and this time let's create a sort of L shape with our lower arms. Again, draw the shoulder blades together. Release your hands, reach up, gentle back bend, exhale, let's flow down, bend your knees if you need, coming into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Fingertips can be on the earth, or you can take hold of elbows. Relax through your upper body. Your head is heavy, neck feels elongated, shoulders are relaxed here. Perhaps you have a deep bend in your knees or a gentle bend in your knees. Sway from left to right. So if your fingertips are on the earth, take hold of your hands or your elbows and sway your upper body from left to right. Now we're going to complete big circles here. So let's take our elbows over to the right, begin to rise up. Take a circle, so you're either holding onto your elbows or your wrists. And let's take the circle all the way around, 3 times in one direction. Move slowly. And then when you've done 3 circles one way, take a pause in Uttanasana and let's go back in the reverse direction. And again, deep breathing here, and notice how the breath feels. We're easing the flow of breath. The other thing that we do when we practice is kind of very mindful breathing during our yoga asana practice. The pranayama and asana coming together invites us to align our chakras. So we're working through our chakras as we also do this. So remember that chakras are part of our energetic body, the subtle body. So when we work on the physical body, we're also working on the energetic body. In the energetic body is our thoughts, our emotions. When you've done 3 in this direction, let's stay down in Uttanasana for a moment. And then release your hands to the earth. Let's step back long with the right leg. Bring the heel directly to the earth. So bend into the left knee now. And we're going to rise up in Virabhadrasana, Warrior 1. When we've risen up, now your option for your hands, and I'll turn around so you can see me because the wall is no use for me or for you. Bring your hands again into your mudra, Prana and apana. Tuck in your elbows. And then reach up in a V shape. So we'll do what we were doing, this sort of movements with our upper body in Warrior 1 stance. So here you go, sink down, bend into your left knee, reach out through the outside edge of your right foot, arms in a V shape up towards the sky in your Prana and apana mudra. Draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, let's tuck in the elbows. So now we'll be in this V shape. I'll just turn so you can see. Again, with warrior foundation, warrior, the fighter in us, the energy that builds resistance, the rebel in us. This is where we're really harnessing our strength, our immunity, strength of our immune system. And now we're going to open up our arms into the T shape while we're in warrior stance. So open out your arms in the T shape. I've got the wall over here, so I'll just take out my right hand. And now tuck in the elbows for the L shape. One more breath here. Bend into that left elbow. And now, yogis, let's transition into our classic warrior stance. So we'll have our right hand behind us, left hand in front of us. Right hand in Prana, left hand in apana. Drop the right hand up and over with the left into Shanti warrior. You could always wrap your right hand around your lower back by the left hip. And perhaps you rest it on your thigh. One more breath here. Oh, it feels really powerful. And then let's release our arms, open out into warrior two, Mahaviradrasana. Straighten through the left leg. Turn the toes. No, actually, let's leave the left toes pointing forward. We're going to hinge into Trikonasana for the moment. So hinge over to the left. I'm going to adjust my stance so it feels comfortable for my back. Hinge over to the left. And then bring the left hand down towards the earth so you can rest on your leg on a block. And then reach up with your right fingertips in Prana mudra. Ram Ramaya. I invite the infinite energy of the universe to rejuvenate and vitalize all aspects of myself. Deep breathing. So let's be calm. Even in the times which are stormy, we can be the calm in the storm. One more breath here in Trikonasana. Bend into that left knee. Rise back into warrior two. Turn the left toes forward now. And you've got it. We're going to do these movements with our arms again. So let's interlace all of our fingers. Release the index, cross the thumbs. Inhale, reach up. Legs are wide, reaching up, feeling strong. Here, hug in the muscles to your bones. Hug in the core. One more breath here. Release your arms, create this V shape now. If you get my prana and the palm right, whichever hand, take up space here. Hug in the shoulder blades towards each other. Draw in the navel. Hug the elbows in. Coming into this, what we call, looks like a W. Draw the shoulder blades in. Out in a T shape. Deep breathing. Perhaps you're doing Dirga Pranayama, perhaps you're doing Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath is the ocean sounding breath, the victory breath. So relevant for us for us to have victory over disease, viruses, illness, social ills, as well as physical ills. We visualize victory. At times like this, when death rates are high, when serious illness rates are high, we know that the vaccine will provide a sense of a tool to overcome. Hug in the elbows, create this L shape now with your hands. Hug in the shoulder blades. And now let's turn the right toes up, reach out with your arms. We're going to come hinge over to the right to come into Trikonasana. So bring the right hand down towards the earth, left fingertips up to the sky. And remember to use your blocks, and that left hand can always be on your hip. If you find your right leg is shaking like mine is at the moment, I realized that my knee was locked. So soften through your knee. That will stop the leg from shaking. Just putting on too much pressure on my hamstring there. So take note of what's happening in your body. One more breath in Trikonasana, bend into your right knee. Let's rise up in Virabhadrasana, Mahavirabhadrasana. Drop the left hand to your left leg. You can always wrap it around your lower back. So your apana mudra can wrap around. And then reach up and over for Shanti. Back to Mahavirabhadrasana. Let's turn our heart over towards the right leg. So coming into Virabhadrasana 1. Or Virabhadrasana, that's his known. We call it Virabhadrasana because mostly in the West we don't use Mahavirabhadrasana. Western yoga teachers, that is. But it's Virabhadrasana and Mahavirabhadrasana. Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. Let's reach up with our arms to create this V shape. Again with your Prana and the Apana mudra. Prana on the right, Apana on the left. And draw your shoulder blades together. Reach out through the outer edge of your left foot. Perhaps you need to adjust your stance. Breathe deeply. Feel strong. Hug in the muscles to the bones. Visualize that's what you're doing. Draw in the navel. So feel active and engaged through every part of your body. Hug in the elbows, arms out in this W shape. Again, draw your shoulder blades together. Om Ram Ramaya. I invite in the infinite energy of the universe to rejuvenate, revitalize all aspects of myself, whether physical, emotional, thinking, any part of the self that needs the boost, the energy boost, building of resistance and resilience. Open out your arms in a T shape. Draw your shoulder blades together, hugging them in towards each other. And then let's bring in the elbows, arms out parallel to the earth. So it looks like an L. One more breath. We're nearly there, yogis. I know this stance feels strong. Keep lifting through your crown while you're here in Virabhadrasana. And now let's release our hands down towards the earth. Take on that left foot and bring the left foot to meet the right foot. Take a moment here. Now from here, we're going to move into Malasana squat pose. So you might be at the one end of your mat or the other end of your mat. You can move onto your mat to the middle of your mat, or you can stay where you are and take your feet as wide as your mat, or you can come to the center. So remember, for a yogi squat here, so at the moment, let's just shift our feet out, toes out, so that they're in the same, knees and toes are in the same direction. And you can come down directly onto a seat here, or you can come to the earth in squat. And you can have your Kali Mudra, index fingers extended, thumbs crossed. Let's cross the thumb the other direction to what we've been doing so far. And reach up above your crown. One more breath here. And then let's release the hands. Oh, come directly to earth. Shake out those knees one way then the other. And now let's reach for our lovely curled up blanket or cushions and blocks. So have that. I mean, you can do Matsyasana without the support, but I'm having the support today because this is really helpful for the lungs. So especially for those of you who have any lung related conditions at the moment, like asthma or colds or flus or long COVID, then this might feel more supportive than the usual Matsyasana without the suppose. And we're not going to stay here very long. So what we want to do is we want to have the blanket or the cushion underneath our middle back here. So just where you would have your bra strap if you wear bras. And if you don't wear bras, then it's the place sort of that's parallel to, how would I describe it, your chest, where your pecs are. That's it, pecs, that's what they're called. We've all got pecs. So it's lower down here. So we've got the blanket in the middle of our back, not the lower back. So our heart space is lifted. And then rest back onto your blanket. So there'll be a very gentle heart opening here. And then extend your legs here. And this is our supported Matsyasana. So you could have a cushion underneath your middle back, between your shoulder blades and underneath your head, just as well. Now your feet are extended. You can stay here with your feet together, or if you wish, you can take them further apart and allow them to fall out. Oh, that's beautiful. And this is your option today, to have Shavasana like this. If this doesn't feel like you want to be in Shavasana here, I would stay here for hours actually. Cover myself with a blanket, eye pillow over my eyes, a dog curled up underneath one of my arms so that I can hug a dog. I'd be happy here for a while. If this starts feeling like you're about to cough, remember, you can roll over onto your side and you can still use this blanket and cushion, but you have your knees at a bend. So you come into sleeping Krishna pose variation. Let's be here. We're almost at the end of our class, but let's be here for 30 seconds. Whichever variation you are, the supported Matsyasana or sleeping Krishna. Om Ram Ramaya. One full breath here. And then when you're ready, if you're already lying on your side, you can rise up directly if you're lying in supported Matsyasana. / Shavasana today. Roll over onto your side and then rise up into Sukhasana. Oh, I just feel melted now. And when you're in your Sukhasana, bringing your mudra, your Prana to your right hand, apana to your left hand. Closing your eyes if you open them. Let's chant Om Ram Ramaya 3 times and then Om Shanti. Om Ramaya in our mudra and Om Shanti with our namaskar. Inhale to prepare. Om Ram Ramaya. Om Ram Ramaya. Om Ram Ramaya. Om Shanti. 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 Hands to your eyebrow center. Dhanyavad. Yogis. Oh, that was heavenly for me. So remember to have a holistic, well-balanced lifestyle, which will support a strong immunity system. Drink lots of water. Get plenty of sleep. Have an Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle. Eat lots of greens. Practice hand hygiene and social distancing. Get your vaccination. Moderate movement. Meditation. Pranayama. And see your GP and get medical help when you need it. That is the perfect lifestyle. Oh, and read lots of books. Right, my lovelies, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, and also, let me ask all to unmute. And wear a mask. Yes, thank you, Sue. Wear your mask. I have my Frida Kahlo face mask.